Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about Game 6 of the 2025 NBA Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the OKC Thunder. What I'm going to do today is go down the team roster, tell you all both teams' future future outlook, and then before the show ends, give my final take and the point spread for tonight's game. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down a list, go down the team roster list. I'm not going to read any names, but I'm just going to tell you all how the OKC Thunder got here. And it starts back with 2022. See, Shea Gildress Alexander, he came to OKC in 2022. And then I've been saying this throughout the entirety of this series, Sam Presti. Sam Presti is a good businessman and he's a good general manager because Sam Presti, he has always had building blocks, and then the OKC Thunder have made it to, well, they did make it to the top of the West with Durant and Westbrook, but they didn't stay up at the top. With this team, SGA, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, they have a chance to stay up at the top of the West. Now, going into next season, I wouldn't be surprised if OKC is back on this stage next season. Because one thing I know is that all of these guys that are on the team, they are under 25. And there are some that are even 22 on the team. But one thing I can say, the dynamic of the NBA is going to be the powerhouse of the NBA is the OKC Thunder, and it has been it has been this season and last season. Last season they just crumbled with the Dallas Mavericks, and y'all see where the Dallas Mavericks are at. Dallas Mavericks, they had a tough season, and it's pretty much, it's pretty much when it comes from season to season, you don't know what your team is going to look like. But in OKC's case, OKC, they have a good idea of what their team is going to look like, not just for next season, but for 3 seasons after that. Because all of these guys, you can see the oldest guy that is on the roster right now, the oldest guy on the roster is Alex Caruso at 31. Everybody else is either 26, 22, 24, 23, 22, 19. Nikola Topic, he 19. So this team is going to be around for a while. It is a force to be reckoned with. I said that it was a force to be reckoned with coming into last season. But now, OKC, I can OKC tonight, they got game 6. Now, if I'm OKC, I'm trying to close this series out tonight. I am, because I don't want to give the Pacers any hope going back to Oklahoma for a game 7 on Sunday night. I don't think that OKC wants to do that. I believe what OKC done as far as traveling, they came with one suit and they said that we gonna finish this series out tonight. Now, one thing that I can say is that the X factors, the X factors for the OKC Thunder, they have to show up tonight because you are going into enemy territory and you are going into one of the loudest arenas in the NBA. Now with the Indiana Pacers, they have a few injuries. Jared Jarris Walker, Jarris Walker, he is out for tonight's game, and Tyrese Halliburton has been day to day. So you don't know if Halliburton is going to be 65 or even 70%. So the Pacers, they have that going against them tonight. So the Pacers, they were a success story in and of itself. Hopefully the Pacers are able to protect home court and force a game seven. But if they can't, well, if Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton can't play tonight, then the series is over and it is good night, Irene. It is. And now, when you, as far as matchups concerned, here is the Pacers roster. Now, Rick Carlisle, he was saying a couple days ago about putting Aaron Naismith in the starting lineup. Now, one thing, if you put Aaron Naismith in the starting lineup, he is a valuable part of your bench production. And in the games that the Pacers have won, Aaron Naismith has had a valuable part in the bench production coming off the bench. He scored 22 points in game one. And then he scored in game three. He scored 19 points in game three. Now it seems like his playing time has diminished a little bit, and that's because of what OKC has done as far as when it comes to runs and stuff and their defense. They have a tough, stifling defense, and they don't give up many points. You saw in game five where the Pacers, they went on a shooting drought on two shooting droughts throughout the game. Tonight, the Pacers, they cannot afford to go on a shooting drought of 4 minutes. They can't, because if they go on a shooting drought for 4 minutes, then the game is possibly over and it'll be a blowout. So the Pacers, they have a tough, and I do mean a tough task with an undermanned team, a hobbled Halliburton, and you have some of your X factors not being able to show up in big moments. Miles Turner, he might need to have a 25, 30-point game to keep the Pacers season alive tonight. Also, another thing, TJ McConnell, he is one of he is one of the biggest X factors that I had coming into this series. And TJ McConnell, he has shown up. Just the last game, just game five, he had 18 points. The game four, he had 16. And the game before that, game three, he had 15 points. So TJ McConnell, he has been consistent. But those other guys on the Pacers, like James Johnson, Quentin Johnson, Tony Bradley, if he ever gets into the fold, Pascal Siakam. Now, Pascal Siakam, he has had consistency here and there, but he hasn't been consistent in every game. Now, there was one game in game four where he pretty much shrunk. He pretty much shrunk. But tonight, Pascal Siakam has to have a good game. Miles Turner has to have a good game. Ben Shepherd, in his value, in his minutes, in his 5 or 10 minutes coming off the bench, he has got to put up something. And the Pacers, what they have to do tonight is throw everything in the kitchen sink at the OKC Thunder, because OKC Thunder, the Thunder, I think they coming to win it tonight, and they should. They should be coming to win it tonight. They don't want to have a game seven back at their house, because anything can happen in a game seven. Anything. And I do mean anything. So now, what I'm going to do is talk about the point spread for tonight's game. Point spread for tonight's game is 6.5 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. 6.5. Now, the Thunder are one win away from a championship. Future outlooks for both teams. That's what I'm going to do right now. My final take is future outlooks for both teams. For the OKC Thunder, I can already see that they are going to be a powerhouse in the West, and they are already a powerhouse in the West because, like I said earlier, last season they should have been in this spot. This season, they are one win away from the championship. Next season, they have almost everybody on their roster coming back next season. So the Thunder, they could be right back in this situation again next season and possibly for seasons to come because Shea Gildress Alexander, he is about to sign a 5 year, reportedly, he's about to sign a 5 year, $380 million contract, but it doesn't go into effect until 2027. So he's got about a good year and a half left on his rookie contract, and then he is gonna get that big old fat contract of $380 million. So the Thunder, they are going to be around for years. As far as the Pacers concerned, now the Pacers' future outlook is pretty dim. It really is because last season they got to the Eastern Conference Finals because of a surprise. They surprised everybody making it to the Eastern Conference Finals last season. This season, halfway point of the year, they was hovering under 500. And from January 5th up until now, they have been the second best team as far as record wise in the NBA. The first team is the OKC Thunder. But as far as the Pacers, when it comes to salary cap, they are gonna have to trade some players this offseason. They are because bench production it's up and down. And if you want to be a championship team and have a chance at competing for a championship year in and year out, you need a good bench. And the Pacers, they don't have a good bench. Outside of Aaron Naismith, Obi Toppin, and and well, he's a starter, but sometimes he comes off. Andrew Nemhard, sometimes he comes off the bench and then other times he starts. But outside of those two that I said just a few seconds ago, Obi Toppin and Aaron Naismith, those two guys that are on the Pacers, those are the most consistent. And TJ McConnell. I cannot forget about TJ McConnell. Those three guys that come off the bench for the Pacers have been consistent throughout the entirety of this season. So, who is in the Pacers' way starting next season to get back to this point? And there's about 4, maybe 5 teams that are in the Pacers' way at getting back to this point. First, I'm going to start off with the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum, I believe he is going to come back sometime between December or January of this coming season. Also, the Atlanta Hawks, they are a dark horse. They could give the Pacers some problems. New York Knicks, I don't know about them, but one thing I can say, the New York Knicks, they are just pretty much, they don't know what they're doing. So I'm not even going to talk about them because they are a wild card in my view. Orlando, Desmond Bain, he just got traded. I don't know if the Orlando Magic are in win now mode, but you have a wild card trade like that, it's showing me that you in win now mode. It is. It's showing me that you're in win now mode and you need another defensive player to neutralize the opponent's top player. And that's exactly what the Orlando Magic have done. Now, Milwaukee, I don't know about them. They have Giannis, but outside of Giannis, what do the Milwaukee Bucks really have? They have Damian Lillard, but you need more outside of just those two players. You need that, and then you need a whole lot more. And not to mention Miami. We all know about Heat culture, and we all know that we can't put nothing past the Heat, because the Heat they didn't have a team 2 years ago and still made it to the NBA Finals. So that's all that the Pacers have. I'm pretty sure some more teams that the Pacers need to think about, but we got to wait until next season to analyze all of those teams that could potentially knock off the Pacers. Now, as far as the Thunder, teams they have in their way, trying to potentially trying to repeat. Hopefully they win tonight so they can go ahead and get this championship. But as far as a repeat, teams that the Thunder have in their way are the Los Angeles Lakers, LA Clippers, Denver Nuggets. Also, another team. I don't know about the Phoenix Suns. I just don't. So don't even add. So all you viewers at home, don't ask me about the Phoenix Suns because they are in rebuild mode. The New Orleans Pelicans, they a long shot. The Utah Jazz, long shot. We're not gonna talk about them. The San Antonio Spurs, that is a team where I think they are a dark horse for a playoff run next year. When they get back, when Victor Wembanyama comes back healthy for training camp, I could see the San Antonio Spurs somehow, some way getting in that fifth or sixth spot going into the playoffs for next season. So that's all the teams that I have on the list of pretty much upending the Thunder chances for a repeat. But that's if they win tonight. As far as the Pacers, it's gonna be a new team. It's gonna be a new team for the East representing the Eastern Conference next season in the NBA Finals. It is because Pacers, you've had your chance. If you don't win tonight, and if you don't win in Game 7, it's a possibility where you might not even get back here for another 15 years. For another 15 years. So that's all I have to say about the Pacers and the Thunder. Everybody, please, please be prepared for tonight's game. Please be safe for tonight's game. If you got any plans going out, watching the game, please drive safely because we do not need to hear anybody getting hurt or any injuries, car accidents, or whatever. Have a plan for tonight's game. Have a plan for possibly a Game 7 because I'm not going to say this, but tonight it's going to be hard for the Thunder to win tonight's game because the Pacers, I know the Pacers, they are going to come out with a mentality as far as not getting eliminated on their home floor. I could see that happening right now. Halliburton, he is not 100%, but from what I'm hearing, Halliburton is going to give it a go tonight. X factors for the Pacers, everybody needs them to come through. And for the Thunder, what they need to do is the Thunder, the bench and the X factors for the Thunder, they need to get it together because the last few times they've been in Indiana, it hasn't been good. 3-point shooting has been bad. Defensively, they've been bad. And the Pacers, when it comes to the Pacers, they play with a fast-paced offense. Now, one number I can say if the Pacers get over 110 points tonight, the Pacers are going to win. But if the Thunder can keep them under 110, 111, the Thunder are going to be NBA champions tonight. And with that, those are my predictions for tonight's Game 6 of the 2025 NBA Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Please like, comment, share, subscribe Click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction video shows and other content. We are also doing an expansion right here on YouTube. By the end of the year, we are expecting 20,000 subscribers. I know that we can do it. I see y'all in the comments. Y'all keep on saying, Key Time, keep doing what you're doing. Also, another thing you should do is go and follow my other show on Instagram, Key City Sports. I'm going to be doing a segment on Key City Sports in just a few minutes. So please, once you leave, my YouTube channel, go on over to Key City Sports and tune in and see what I have to say about Game 6, tonight's game, and both teams' future outlook. Both teams' future outlook. And remember, everybody, one last thing: the key is always on time.